Hello, welcome to Cammy Down Your Throat. I'm Cammy, this is Down Your Throat, and today with me is Savio Champion. Savio Chan. Hey, Savio is a great guy. He's really cool dude. That is really, I would say, the largest component of his personality is how cool he is. And furthermore, I would say that how are you, Savio?
I'm alright. It's hard to say how I am in a COVID pandemic, but
yeah,
good.
I heard about that.
You're also cool though.
Yeah, I'm pretty cool.
Cool steel.
Yeah. Cold. I'm cold. And Savio, on top of being really cool, it was pivotal for me. In our life, there are different moments that send us on different trajectories. We bounce off of different people in different ways. I'm just talking about a normal interaction that we had where you told me that cows... what did you tell me? You told me that cows, in order to procure milk, I apparently did not realize the cows suffered, and then you told me the cows suffered, and that pretty much made me go vegan. Oh, and I don't think I ever told you that, but I'm telling you that now, that you're a large part of the reason I'm vegan now.
Oh, wow.
If that matters.
I mean, it's nice to know that. That one little interaction kind of put you on that trajectory. That's nice.
Yeah, so I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome.
For that. And with that, we'll start the podcast. Segment number 1, inquiry about well-being. How are you? We did this already. We'll skip over that. Segment 8C, great job, Savio. We did that. That was where I thanked you. Segment 4, activism methodology. So Savio, what's the right way? This is something that I've been trying to figure out. What's the right way to make people feel bad?
I don't know if there's a right way. I think everyone kind of has their own journey, and their own approach. For me, it's a little touchy because I know how everyone can be defensive if you start to talk about like their lifestyle, their diet, and I've learned that like along the way of like adjusting my approach. You know, before I was very, I guess you would say, militant, because, you know, it was a very new and raw realization for me that, you know, the food, wherever the food that wherever the food that came from that is on my table, you know, came from insidious practices where, you know, animals would suffer, they would be abused, raped, tortured, you know, having their newborns taken away from them at a really young age, just so that, you know, we can have a glass of milk with our cereal. Right. So it took a while to kind of process all that, and now it's just about, you know, if they're willing to learn about it, then, you know, I'll share. But yeah, it's more just taking a step back and seeing how they react, and if they're curious about my lifestyle or about veganism, I can kind of, you know, guide them the right direction. And I don't know where I was at the point where I was talking to you about cows, but hopefully it was where I was now.
Yeah, no, you weren't at all aggressive in any way. I was asking you questions about veganism, actually. And I was like, yeah, so do vegans can vegans do yeast? And yeah, you were just answering a couple questions that I had, and I'm conflicted these days because, like, yeah, obviously I was not vegan, and it was some kind of revelation for me. It's hard for me. I think I'm getting over it, but where it's like, it's very emotionally difficult for me to interact with friends and family that are not seeing it this way.
Right.
And so my friends and family are like, not super happy with me right now because of the, I guess the ways in which I've chosen to to communicate about this issue.
Right. Yeah. Right. I mean, the overwhelming majority of people who are vegan never started as vegan. You know, they were always meat eaters, and they kind of had that realization later on down the road. And, you know, oftentimes their family, their friends, they indulge in meat and they indulge in non-vegan products. And it's very isolating once you have that realization, and then you're trying to, you know, get them to your side. But, you know, everyone is defensive about their own, you know, rituals, their own lifestyles, and it can be very difficult. For me, I was very fortunate that my parents kind of understood where I was coming from, even though they're not vegan, they're not vegetarian at all, but and I guess they were accepting that I was so vocal and, you know, outraged.
Were you like, when you say they were okay with it, you just mean like philosophically, or were they willing to like make compromises with their own lifestyles for you, or just curious?
Yeah, you know, now they eat completely vegan with me, but they don't identify as vegan.
Sure.
But, you know, before it was, you know, cooking separate meals, and I would just have the veggies, or, you know, we're a very traditional Chinese family, so we would have like 2 or 3 dishes on the table, and we would have our bowl of rice. So, you know, sometimes, you know, there would be a dish cooked with meat and vegetables, like a stir fry, and then, you know, we would just separate the meat and the veggies, and I would just have more veggies. And now it's just easier for all of us to eat vegan. And then whenever I'm not home, they'll eat meat or dairy and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's cool that you had an impact on them.
Yeah, I think they're starting to realize the health benefits of veganism. My mom has type 2 diabetes. My dad has high blood pressure and is pre-diabetic. And my grandma, who sometimes lives with us, has Parkinson's, high blood pressure, pre-diabetic. And so, you know, all of those things can be, you know, helped with more fiber in your diet, less red meats and stuff, and so it's a very mutual beneficial thing.
And then the other way around, like for you, it's not a huge emotional difficulty living with or having your parents be people who eat meat, or does that weigh on you at all, or?
It does, you know, especially when they, you know, eat in front of me, or they like buy food and they bring it home. It kind of, you know, you know, raises my temperature a little bit.
Right.
But, you know, I've learned to kind of temper it, and I know that I'm actually making an impact because we're eating more veggies and more vegan food. There's an overall reduction of, you know, animal pain and suffering.
I dig it. I'll tell you. Tell me what you think of this. I'm with my family. I just refuse to eat with them unless it's all vegan. I'm like pretty. I'm super hardcore with them about it. Like I'm constantly telling them that I'm not okay with what they do. So I don't like what. What do you think of me? Am I bad for the cause by doing that?
No. How do your parents and your family react when you kind of do that?
Well, I guess I didn't plan on getting into this part. I don't know how I feel about this whole. What was the question?
How did your family respond?
How did they respond? Yeah, I don't know. It's all confusing. You know, I think. I don't know if it's the same with you, but like when you start talking about like the real kind of philosophical things that underlie, people get really uncomfortable, or they can get really uncomfortable. And so for me, the stage I'm at with them is like, at least from my own perspective, it's like I can't really finish the conversation with them. I can't I can't, you know, go down a completely logical path. Like they'll agree with me. I guess the problem that I have with a lot of the people close to me right now is like they'll agree with everything I have to say, but they are not vegan, you know what I mean? And I can't and I try to understand why, and then I get maybe more too aggressive, and I'm like, well, if you have no argument to not be vegan, then why aren't you vegan? And it spins out. I don't know.
Right.
But, yeah.
Oh no, go ahead if you have anything else to say.
No, that's. I don't want to bore you with just my personal life here.
Oh no, this is super interesting. I like hearing stories about other people's experiences, especially with veganism. And what I'm thinking is, we've both kind of discussed our vegan journey, and we've both had this in common, is that it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. You don't even have to finish a conversation. That conversation can take years. So it's just, gradual tidbits. Like with you, I mentioned that thing about, dairy and how that affects cows. And that kind of set you on that journey. It was just like, planting the seed, or like making the ripple. Yeah. Like initiating the ripple kind of thing.
Totally. It's just the problem that I have with that is sometimes I get this sense of urgency. Like, well, I have to change people right now because, this thing is happening right now and it needs to change right now. But there has to be like patience. There has to be acceptance that it's not all.
Right. Yeah. It takes multiple conversations, and, sometimes you don't finish those conversations,
Right.
It just takes time. And, people might not ever, switch over to veganism because, food is a big part of their culture. It's a big part of who they are. And so, maybe, gradual changes, it doesn't have to be 100%, but maybe can you eliminate, certain things from your diet that might not be helpful. Especially with my parents, I kind of identified, these things are bad for your diabetes. It's bad for your cholesterol. So maybe reduce it or take it away, that kind of stuff. So it's a very gradual process. And I don't think it'll ever be completed, but there's just baby steps, and as long as you're making an impact, I think it's the most important part.
For sure. I see what you're saying. I see where you're coming from. Okay. Yeah, boy. All right, segment 3.14, gray areas. Savio, how do you feel about bugs?
Bugs. That's
what do you think about question. Bugs? So I mean, I sense that you're vegan ethically, right? You care about the animals, right? That's a part of your veganism. So what about bugs? What about bugs? Bugs. Oh gosh, bugs.
Bugs. So a lot of people don't know that bugs are they're an ingredient of food coloring. So,
is that right?
Tropicana, like the orange, it's from bugs.
Wow.
So
Wait, the orange is from bugs?
Mm-hmm. The color orange, yeah. I believe so.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
Yeah. So, I mean, and, bugs are in plants and foods and
right.
whatever. So whenever, farmers pick crops, I mean, they'll dust off bugs, or they'll take the food source away from bugs. So it's an interesting question. I don't know if I've thought about it too deeply.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I see a spider, I won't want to kill it. I would, leave it alone, or maybe encourage it to go outside.
Totally.
But I mean, yeah.
Just throwing that out there. I have a little garden going, and sometimes I've got aphids. Like I was dealing with aphids, and so I had to confront this moral dilemma of like, okay, I'm a vegan, but am I gonna take out this whole aphid population with a spray or something?
Yeah, I mean, there are natural things you can do. I believe one of my friends who has a garden is an herbalist. She said putting a little bit of garlic in water and leaving it to soak overnight and spraying that makes them go away.
Yeah. I've been desperately. What I've been doing is soap, a tiny bit of dish soap, and a little bit of red pepper powder, and it seemed to work pretty well for aphids. But I'll try the one that you just tell me again. It was garlic and water, and then spray that. Yeah, I'll definitely try that.
Yeah, but you won't want to keep it for too long because it'll be rank.
Right. That's cool. Do you think a robot?
I have an opinion about honey. We're not having any of the bees consent when we take their honey. We're taking advantage of their food source, and oftentimes there are some pretty cruel practices.
Yeah, where we like take the queen bees and de-wing them.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Do you think, good sir, that a robot could have a right to life?
A robot right to life?
Yeah.
It reminds me of that game. Was it Detroit Become Human or something?
Yeah, I never played it, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Where,
robots start to have quote unquote intelligence, and they're able to be, self-aware and be able to think for themselves.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting discussion. And I don't know.
Any thoughts?
I'd have to think about it some more, but I'm leaning towards, if it gets to that point, then yeah.
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah.
Why not? I guess it's just I guess the only interesting question is like, well, when what is that line though? When do they become? I don't know. It's a weird question, but
yeah. I mean, we're all for animal rights,
right?
And we don't think exactly the way they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of like translating that to robots with intelligence. So I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a parallel there somewhere. I just don't know where it is.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, and then some people, might argue that we as human beings are just very complicated, robots in a certain way, biological robots. But anyway, what is a robot? What is real? What do we do with lions, Savio? What do we do with lions? I think what I meant when I asked this question, when I wrote this down, was okay, like, there are creatures out there that are carnivores, right? And their like inherent thing is to like kill things. And I guess I'm just trying to figure out what's the moral thing to do. Obviously, if we could have like vegetable grown meat to feed them, that would be great. I don't know. Like, let's say that's impossible though. Like, do we just get rid of the lions as a species so that, or what do we?
I think we just leave them alone.
Leave them alone? Okay, which leads into my next question. Wild animal suffering. Are we concerned about wild animal suffering? Like animals in the wild getting mauled, and they suffer greatly. Or even if they just get a disease or starvation, there's all kinds of suffering happening in the wild. Do we care about this kind of suffering?
I mean, we can, and we have, as wildlife biologists, environmentalists. They have. But you said
leave the lions alone, though. If we leave the lions alone, let them do whatever they want, they're gonna maul the creatures.
Right. But I mean, I guess from a human perspective, we are consciously aware of our diets, and we have an overwhelming ability to control what we eat because we have like these, agribusiness industrial complexes. We have organic farmers, and we have all of these different options that we can choose and decide what we eat. Lions, I mean, I don't know of any lion farmers who can grow veggies and corn where they can munch on. It's just whatever their food source is.
Totally. So I guess the question is like, the question I'm asking you is our moral obligation then to allow these creatures who kind of not inherently need to cause pain. I mean, we could feed them dead animals or something, but like, would it be so immoral? This is a crazy idea, but would it be so immoral to just remove lions from Earth so that there were no, evil-hearted creatures? I mean, it's a terrible thing. Obviously, it's just a thought experiment. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, no, we wouldn't want to do that. I mean, they're beautiful creatures. I'm not saying they're not beautiful creatures. I'm just thinking of like, okay, what's this utopian perfect world? What do we really do? I don't know.
I mean, if we completely eliminate, a certain species from an ecosystem, that ecosystem collapses.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, sure. So I guess, sure.
And at the same time, if we're eliminating a species, we'd be killing them. and we're making that conscious decision to kill them because of a certain reason. So I don't think that'd be vegan either.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. There's some weird math starting to occur there.
Kanye meat.
What did you say? Kanye meat?
Kanye meat.
What's Kanye?
It was a discussion I had with my friend about because it's about consent, right? So we don't have animals consent to consume them. But now we're having the technology of like lab grown meat. And so what if Kanye consented people to make meat out of him, and we have Kanye burgers and we eat it? Is that vegan?
That's crazy.
That's a thought experiment for you.
That's wild. I mean, it is vegan, right? Because the whole concept of, I guess, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just, it becomes like who decides what vegan is. I mean, there's already lab grown meat, so I mean, it's the same question, right? If you eat lab grown meat, are you vegan?
So I've actually attended a panel about this, where there's these people, from a company who made lab grown meat, and they're explaining how their process worked to a bunch of vegans. And one vegan eventually asked, where are you getting these cells that you're, growing in the lab? And they're like, oh, we harvest it from butchered dead animals. And so the audience, there was like an audible gasp, like from like the movies, just like,
right,
okay, then this isn't vegan because we're still taking advantage of animals.
Right.
And it's not with their consent.
And it's, yeah. And is it a thing? I mean, not that it necessarily makes a difference one way or the other, but is it a thing where they needed to constantly harvest dead animals, or was it like one of the things where to start the whole process they had to use some kind of thing? Or
I don't want to speculate, but my understanding is it's a continual process. So they harvest cells and they grow it, but don't take my word for it.
That's that's interesting. I've also heard of, I can't remember if it was Impossible or Beyond, or maybe it was both of them, but in order for them to like get FDA certification or something, they had to do testing on a bunch of rats, and which ultimately got slaughtered at the end of the testing. And I could be wrong about this. Should look it up, but whoever's listening should look it up. But I think they might actually, the FDA might be rejecting their certifications. They might have to do even more animal testing. But I don't know. I've avoided, like, the whole lab-grown meat stuff doesn't appeal that much to me anyway. Like, I'm not so desperate to, I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm not so desperate to simulate that experience. Right,
yeah. I mean, I know a lot of vegan food tries to imitate meat and, other animal-based products, but lab-grown meat, especially, to me, is not appealing either. But it can open the market for, omnivores, carnivores,
totally. Totally, yeah.
Reduce the amount of animal suffering.
Absolutely.
So I see benefits in it, but I guess it's not for me, not for us.
For sure, yeah. And it's good to know exactly what, not just assume everything is holy grail.
Right.
For sure. Well, I have two more gray areas. Let me just scan them to see if they're good, but I don't want to drag gray areas on. Okay, here's a question. I don't know what this says, but I like the way I wrote it out, so I'm just going to read it. Okay, here's a question. Let's say we explore in space, right? And we encounter some aliens who aren't as advanced as we are, and they've enslaved another race on their planet. What do we do if you were the emperor of Earth? Do we let them go? I guess with your lion answer, basically your lion answer would be like, yeah, just let them do whatever, right?
I guess it depends on for lions, my perspective is, it's part of an ecosystem, and once we take that out, then that ecosystem collapses. But if we're looking at alien life forms and they have, similar levels of intelligence or greater than humans, and they're enslaving another population, then
we hold them to a higher standard.
Right. Yeah.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
yeah, I guess that would be my answer at this moment.
Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I know these are like absurd, broad.
Oh no,
I was just trying to.
They're interesting. They're definitely
good.
Yeah.
Segment vegan cooking discussion. You, if I recall correctly, I've deleted my Facebook, but if I recall correctly, I think it was you that you do a lot of vegan cooking, right?
Yeah. I mean, all my cooking is vegan, so.
I mean, not a lot of vegan. I mean, you do like more. I remember you posting like some spectacular stuff. Like you do like really nice vegan cooking. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I mean, whatever I post on Facebook is like the higher end, quote unquote, of my cooking. I don't post I do sometimes post the garbage stuff, but
for sure,
mostly the good looking stuff.
I remember a lot of that stuff looking very tasty. What are your favorite ingredients?
Do
you do nutritional yeast?
Yep, nutritional yeast. It's a staple.
That stuff is bomb.
Oh yeah, definitely. What do you use nutritional yeast for?
I just put it on everything. I just put it on every single meal. Was this true of you? My theory on nutritional yeast is the first time you try it, you're like, I don't know. And then the second time you're like, I guess so. And then the third time it's like, oh, you're addicted. Is that true, or were you addicted from the first go?
Yeah, it took a while for me to like it.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I've seen so many people just loving nutritional yeast, so I'm like, oh, I got to try this. Yeah. And I bought like a tub of it. And the first time I ate it, I'm like, and then, I grew to love it. It was a love-hate relationship at first, though.
I'm still fascinated by that because I look back and I'm like, so how do I love it so much now? It's the same thing, right? I mean, it didn't change, but maybe my mom told me this. My mom was like, and maybe she had an interesting thought. She was like, maybe it's your body, like, telling you that you need whatever is in the nutritional yeast or something. Now that
could be true.
I don't know. Anyway, what's your top favorite recipe?
Top favorite recipe?
What's your go-to vegan recipe?
I think it would be like the cashew cream of mushroom soup.
Cashew cream of mushroom soup. Nice. Could you give us a quick breakdown? Yeah.
So I don't use any measurements. I kind of just do it by eye. But the first step is, soaking the cashews in either boiling water or overnight in the fridge. And then blending that in with oat milk or any other vegan milk. So then you create like this cream. And then you roast, any type of mushrooms for a little while. Kind of throw that together in a pot and chop up some onions, saute some onions in there. Add some more milk and some bouillon. Just blend that shit up. It's hella good. Hella good.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds like it.
Oh, and one pot mac and cheese.
Okay, one pot mac and cheese. How do you do your mac and cheese? Do you grind cashews with nutritional yeast? Is that how they do it? No.
This is way.
This is
simple.
different. Oh, it's
way
simple. Okay.
So you put your mac in the pot, and you pour vegan milk up to cover basically.
Wow. Okay.
And then you add a shit ton of nutritional yeast, garlic powder, onion powder, whatever powder, pepper, some bouillon or some miso, and boil that shit. And like the water will thicken because of the pasta water. And it'll just congeal and become like a little sauce on its own, and then you can.
Oh my gosh! That's
you can toast
smart.
some panko breadcrumbs, sprinkle that on top. Add in some frozen veggies and some vegan sausage in there. Hella good.
That is smart. That is
super
smart.
Easy
the starch.
Too.
That's I like it. You use the starch of the pasta to make the milk, to make the milk the sauce.
Yeah. Less washing of dishes either. You can eat out of the pot.
That's perfect. The Savio mac and cheese.
Yeah.
All right. So, how are you doing on time, sir, and energy?
Are you
feeling
good?
Good. Okay, well, great. Let's move on. Segment G39F, roleplay mock debates. I'm going to roleplay some people, and you're going to debate me as the vegan. Ready? First guy. First roleplay. A guy with impossible to defeat arguments. Hey man, so you're vegan?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's dumb.
Why do you think that's dumb?
Well, so what, you think you're so great? Because you're vegan?
I never said that. You're the one who brought it up.
Okay, you're great. You're the greatest person who ever lived because you eat leaves, right? Look at this guy. He's such a hero. He eats leaves. Hey man, why don't you go marry a cow?
I mean, I don't have the cow's consent to marry them.
Okay, well, maybe you first tell me you believe that animals should marry people.
I never said that. You're the one projecting, so I'm assuming
lying.
You want to marry a cow?
So that's the character. That's character one. Next one, guy who keeps mentioning personal choice. But it's a personal choice.
I agree.
Oh, okay. Well then, fair enough. I guess that's the end of that character. Next one, guy who doesn't like veggies. Okay, I didn't write any lines down. That's just somebody who doesn't like vegetables, and he's not vegan. Next one is guy who really likes cheese. I'll save you some time. I'll skip over some of these because I'm not sure they're going to be entertaining.
But I like the guy who likes cheese. That's a huge.
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot from people when they say that I'm vegan or they see that I'm vegan.
Yes.
I just can't give up cheese.
Exactly. Though. Yes.
And that, to my response is, there's vegan cheese.
Mm-hmm. And then they're like, oh gosh, I just hate vegan cheese, as if it's all one thing.
Right, exactly. And I would say there are a lot of vegan cheese makers, who use the exact same process as regular cheese makers, but they don't include animal products.
Right.
And the outcome is very similar. It's very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's amazing vegan cheese out there.
Oh yeah.
Guy who is under the impression he is extremely scientific. Did you know that soy makes you grow boobs?
Oh, estrogen?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really argue against that because I kind of have boobs, but other people have eaten it and they don't have boobs. So
yeah, exactly. Like it's a staple in like a large portion of Asia.
Exactly.
And on top of that, Harvard has this article. Not to constantly reference articles, but anybody listening could just Google it. There's like this thing called phytoestrogen. It's a plant estrogen, and it doesn't affect us in the same way as like normal estrogen does. So,
interesting.
So take that.
Hell yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah, you person who is endlessly fascinated by vegan people. So like, does it really like bother you when animals get hurt and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, right. And when you play a video game and you gotta like skin an animal or something, does that like really bother you and stuff?
It actually does. I have like this visceral reaction when I do that, but I still do it because I know it's in game and it's not actually happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is not the character anymore. But yeah, in every game, like everybody you play is always a meat eater. Like everybody always eats meat in every game. Mm-hmm. There's no vegan representation.
Right.
We need some vegan protagonists.
Right.
We need some dope vegan protagonists.
I mean, I played Dungeons and Dragons and my character's vegan, so I have to look for vegan armor and forage for vegan food. Which is so dope. Difficult.
Yeah, I like that. That's dope.
Yeah.
All right, that's the end of the roleplay segment. Did you want to roleplay anybody?
I don't have any good impressions off the top of my head.
Oh, me either. I don't
know. I don't know.
Wait, what?
That was Shakira.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, thanks.
Good. Segment 999 9. The Are You Vegan test. We're going to now determine whether or not you're actually vegan. Question number 0. You see some bacon at the supermarket. Do you A, purchase it, or B, don't purchase it?
Is it benevolent bacon? Is it hooray bacon?
Nope, it's non-vegan. It's pig bacon.
No.
You passed the test.
Hey-yo.
You go to a place. Do you A, order the vegan option, or B, order the non-vegan option?
Vegan option.
Vegan option. Unfortunately, they tricked you. The vegan option had non-vegan stuff in it, and you're a bad person now. Segment 41414.
Wait.
What?
That has happened before, and oftentimes, when I order something vegan and I don't know if it actually is, I kind of do this, I don't know, karmic balance thing. It's just more for my own mental, relaxation. Mental balance, is that I make a regular donation to vegan outreach, like, $5 a month, kind of just to balance out the unknown gray area of vegan food.
Got you. That seems fair.
Yeah.
I like that. Segment 41414, rap segment. Rap segment. Yo, check it out. My name is Cammy, and I came to say, if you're not vegan, you're a piece of shit. It's 2021, you f***ing loser. It's easy now. Stop whining, face. Don't be such a weak asshole. Stop paying for animals to be killed, sociopath. Seriously, why are you guys so insane? I've explained things pretty clearly, but you're still not vegan. Pretty insane, but there's nothing I can do. Did you want to rap, Savio, or?
When you eat food, you poo.
Got it. Perfect. I like it. It was very diplomatic. Segment 666. Savio, what is evil?
What is evil?
Is it real? Is there such a thing?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, the automatic thing is go, fucking Hitler.
I mean, is it a mistake though, or is it so? Is it a thing that like? Is it a thing that is it like an energy? Is it true evil, or is evil always just like stupidity, ignorance, or is there like evil? Do you think?
I don't know if evil is inherent. I feel like a lot of it is taught. But I mean, you hear sometimes of people, being raised in really great households, and they end up doing evil things.
True.
I don't know, like sociopaths. Like
right.
A lot of them come from middle class, wealthy families. They have a relatively normal life, and they end up killing people or
right.
doing all these evil things. So, right. I don't know. It's a nature versus nurture kind of thing. It's an interesting debate.
Yeah. I go back and forth. Sometimes I'm like, I think evil is always a mistake, but then just like the thing you just said, the argument you just made was pretty solid. Like, some people just do f***ed up shit, and it's like there's no really solid explanation. But okay, moving on. Section 777, slot machine. Here we go. I'm gonna spin the slot machine. Oh no, I stopped recording. No. Hold on, and we're recording again. Slot machine. Okay, I'm spinning it. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
All right, we're spinning it. We're spinning. Slowing down. What do you think? Are we going to get all sevens?
Hell yeah.
And... Oh, wait. Oh, we're speeding back up again. Oh, we're spinning. Oh, hold on. Oh, we got a prop. Hold on. Oh, gosh. All right, you got 3 lemons. And congratulations, you're TikTok famous now. Segment 69. And that's it.
That's
Savio.
it? Wow.
You made it to the end of this awkward.
It wasn't awkward at all. It was fun.
Listen, what I really want to do, above all else, is express my greatest gratitudes to you, sir, for joining me on this momentous moments that we shared together over the past how long has it been? 1 hour, 55 minutes.
Wow. I mean, thank you for inviting me. This was fun.
It was all right? I mean, listen, it wasn't like it didn't blow your mind, but there were parts of it that were like, oh, okay, this is fun.
No, I mean, what would you have to do to blow my mind? I don't know.
Exactly.
If I've had a mind-blowing moment.
If I knew that, if I knew, Savio, I would have done it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the intention's there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not. Who am I? Where am I? I'm having an existential crisis, and I thank you for joining me tonight on this on my potty. Thank you for pottying with me.
Oh yeah.
And is there anything you wanted to plug? A band? Do you have a band?
No, I don't have a band. I don't have anything.
You want a band? You want to start a band?
Yeah, let's do it. I've been playing guitar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let's do it then. Everybody check out our band. Check us out at twitter.com/Savio.
The Cam Chan Man Can band?
Cam Chan. Yep.
Yep.
Check us out there.
Exactly.
There'll be some guitar with drum and bass in the background.
Awesome.
Love you, Savio.
Love you too.
And I'm going to actually hang up for realies, unless you wanted to close it in some other way.
No, I'm cool with that. Soft spot.
Okay. Beautiful. But seriously, thank you. Thank you. Seriously.
Yeah. Thank you. No, thank you.
Peace.
Really. Really.
No, but seriously?
No.
Thank you.
No, but really. Thank you.
You're going to have to hang up first, but I just want to say thank you.
Okay, but you hang up first. All right, I'll hang up.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, later.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Peace, world peace, that's what we're going for, babe. And if you can dig down our monumental struggle,